The Escalade has always been an icon, but for the first 4 generations, it was always denied premium features offered on lesser Cadillac sedans. Not anymore. For the 5th generation, GM has finally cut the crap and packed the king full of every bit of kit they have to offer. And this 2023 Platinum Escalade is the perfect example of that. It has every option you can possibly have in a car, shy of a supercharged V8. And while I would have liked to have driven a V for this video, they sold the only one they had left on the lot. Before that, I'd like to thank Walker Jones Automotive Group in Waycross, Georgia for providing me with this vehicle. It is for sale, and if you would like to purchase it or one like it, there'll be a link in the video description below. And get subscribed while you're down there. This one makes do with a, don't call it mediocre, turbo diesel straight 6, which I think fits the driving style of Escalades really well. You don't drive these flat out, you just kind of roll into the throttle and allow the torque to take over. While it doesn't make nearly as much horsepower as its 6.2 liter alternative, it makes up for it by having just as much torque while delivering a very respectable 6 to 8 more miles per gallon. And it's not like diesel is any more expensive than the premium grade gas its pushrod cousin thirsts for. From a mechanical standpoint, the diesel is far more technologically advanced, which is somewhat worrisome to my squirrel brain. I'm not going to lie, the diesel soundtrack is definitely not something I'll ever get used to hearing from an Escalade. Yes, I would rather have the L87, even in lieu of its treacherous recall, if only to have the sweet V8 exhaust note that I sometimes use to hum myself to sleep at night. But let's not let that distract ourselves from the fact that either engine is installed in a simply superb, absolute unit of a building. I mean vehicle. The Platinum in many ways is more comfortable than the average American living room, much more their car. The front seats, and I mean just look at them, can adjust in just about any way imaginable, and on top of being heated and ventilated, they can also massage you with quite a few different patterns and intensities. The Escalade, not to be even equaled by its peasant GMC Denali or Chevy Premier alternatives, has OLED radio and instrument cluster displays, which at night gives you an unparalleled driving experience that I don't think enough people appreciate. OLED, because it's not backlit, has no edge lighting. Therefore, the displayed information appears to float in the dark cabin, lit only by customizable ambient LED glow strips. The full color heads-up display almost feels unnecessary, but it does give desirable information at a glance. As if making cabin lighting minimal during nighttime driving wasn't enough to maximize visibility, the Escalade injects the classic Cadillac night vision seamlessly into the gauge cluster. Any object of concern, from a person, a deer, or black ice, will be visible even in complete darkness, which again, even if that wasn't enough, the headlights are bright enough to light a football field. Nothing I have ever driven has ever given me more confidence in my ability to mow down a deer, if only on purpose. And at times, I can just let it drive for me. Super Cruise is a pretty neat feature. Out here in middle of nowhere Georgia, it doesn't work on a lot of the roads, but allowing it to take the burden of highway cruising can really cut back on the brain and muscle tax of just staying in your lane while you think about what kind of pavers you're going to have installed at your vacation home. I just wish it did a better job of keeping you centered in the lane without Super Cruise active. I've noticed foreign cars like the Honda Civic do a far better job of keeping it in the middle of the lane without having a ton of intervention. Or you can crank the simply incredible 36 speaker, yes, 3 dozen speaker sound system that is just phenomenal. I was listening to Five for Fighting and I swear it brought a tear to my eye. This is pretty much what I'd imagine the Sydney Opera House sounds like, and I'll stand corrected until somebody offers me a flight to Australia. Shoot, I wish I could just drive this there, floating over the ocean with 22-inch wheels, air ride, and fully independent suspension. It rides like a dream. The 4-wheel drive can get me through some pretty treacherous terrain, but alas, ocean cruiser-like does not make it an ocean cruiser. The only time this baby is going in the water is when I'm at the boat ramp and I forget to put it in park, which is a specific place the Escalade thrives. Surround view cameras along with the hitch view can get you all the way down the ramp, making loading a breeze, and the 4-wheel drive will climb like a startled animal, even out of the slickest of boat ramps. It's hard to find a situation where, even with its impressive size, the Escalade doesn't thrive. It is the pinnacle of what General Motors has to offer. You name it, it has it. You want Cadillac emblems displayed on the ground? Sure. Would you like your doors to close for you because you didn't quite slam it hard enough? Yes, sir. Hands full? No problem. Third road goes down, Third row comes back up. Why yes, I'll entertain the children for you. Camera for the rear view mirror. Weird flex, but all right. Don't feel like parking? I can do that for you, my lord. I could list features all day. Just assume that it has it. It could be a whole video on its own. Premium features on standard cars are just standard features on Escalades. It really bends your perception of just how much tech you can stuff into a car. All of this does come at the cost of some interesting little issues, as only GM could build a car this cool and still instill some pretty basic design flaws. Take for example my phone. It's a pretty modest Pixel 7 Pro, not an XL. It's got this gummy case on it and it just barely fits inside of the wireless charging slot. It's cool because it doesn't take up all that much space in the center console, but if you had a larger phone than mine or one that had a real case, it probably wouldn't fit. But if you're loaded, who needs phone cases anyway? The second is the haphazard second row that, if folded forward without the front seat far enough away, it will slam full force into a nearly $800 rear entertainment display. That is, no doubt, tough enough to take a kick from a toddler or two. It leaves you scrambling to complete an operation that should have been automated to begin with. Get down. Lastly, and this is really just a problem with trucks in general these days, is just how ridiculously tall it is. And I don't mean the ride height. The hood height in general is just kind of excessive. I'm a pretty average guy at 5'9", 6 even on a job application, and my chin can sit on this hood with it at full ride height. If a child were to run out in front of this thing, you would have no chance to see them, even with the augmented reality screen on the gauge cluster. Again, this is more of just a problem with the industry as a whole, but you would think with this much kit, they would have an answer to that. It's hard to nitpick. It's a phenomenal machine, and it better be. At a $117,000 original MSRP, you would expect perfection, and I believe it delivers on that. Performance, build quality, features are all what you'd expect for an insane sum of money. Granted, you can't find a used car that's 10 plus years old that can do all those things. So it justifies its price by having very little competition on the new side of things, even less on the used side. This one, however, is used. It has about 60,000 miles on it, so roughly 20,000 miles a year, and is still offered at an eye-watering $81,000, which is quite a bit more than the average used car, obviously. In its defense, it is in immaculate condition, it has a perfect Carfax, and it is absolutely loaded to its eyeballs in tech. Would I ever buy an Escalade this expensive? Probably not, maybe with another 100,000 subscribers or so, but I can see the appeal. It's more than just a bloated Tahoe. It is the flagship of what an American brand has to offer. I know the used Escalade market has to be pretty niche because if you're going to buy something this expensive, you would probably just opt for a new one. But if you're looking for the absolute most vehicle you can buy for under $100,000 used, this is absolutely an exceptional choice. So quiet.